You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, and in studio, as always, in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, Randy, the sorcerer of success, Engston.
Good morning.
The sorcerer. Good morning. Little Saturday weekend show today. You wouldn't know this because this is a Tuesday, Thursday show, but this is when we're recording it. Just got back in town from Chicago last night. Was at the Club Industry Show. That was a fun event. Did a little topic there, and good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff there.
You're about to get on the road a whole bunch.
That's going to be fun, though. I mean,
It is
I
gonna be
enjoy it. So our Fit Pro Grow Summit is next. It's this week.
This coming week? Yeah.
So by the time this show comes out, we will have already done the show. But this is us somewhat freaking out just before the show. Got to get the last minute details. We just got the name tags in, and
Too legit.
the name tags are legit. They look like backstage passes.
Because they are. They're behind the curtain.
Yep. So that'll be a lot of fun. We got 44 gym owners, a couple vendors, and speakers, I should say. We have no vendors for this. We did not get any sponsors. Actually, at the event, at Club Industry, I had like 2 or 3 people want to sponsor this.
Interesting.
But obviously, it's a little late for that. Maybe in the future, we'll figure that whole thing out. But that was pretty cool to get some recognition from some big companies saying, hey, I heard about your event and would love to be a part of it. And
That's awesome.
Like, cool.
Yeah. And obviously with, for some reason, like every event, the latecomers, everybody wants to jump in now. But we don't have the room.
I've had to shut people out.
Yeah.
And it's, and it is what it is. And fake urgency is a thing. This was actual urgency.
True, real urgency.
The way we set the room up, and we'll have a whole review on the show, obviously, probably next week when we get back, when we're done with it. But, I set it up in a way where we can interact, and it limited the seats. It's just the way it is. So it'll be a lot of fun. But
that was kind of the intention from the start, right? Mm-hmm. It's a very select group of individuals. I mean, this was not just anybody show up and pay your way kind of thing.
Yep.
It was a more of an invite, interview, process, qualification. Yeah.
So that is going to be a lot of fun. So a lot of people flying in from out of town. We'll give you like the whole review of this thing after. We're actually recording the speakers, so we'll bundle that up and we will sell that to anybody that couldn't make it. At least you can have the information. The networking and that obviously you have to be in person, but the information that the speaker is going to share, we're going to bundle that up and get that out online so you guys can jump in on that.
Beauteous.
So there we are. Here we are with the Saturday show. Not a Whiskey Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about time management, how to maximize your time as a gym owner. This is an absolute, probably one of the most important things because this goes into every day of your life, right? And these are the things that we're hearing back from our clients. And they want to know, they say, Tim, how do you structure your day? And I look at it and I'm like, there's not really a whole thing that I'm thinking about, but there's some definite things I do every single day that I just do. And you just do, and let's share that with everybody. That helps me get through the day and be, as productive as possible.
Yeah. Maximize your time and efficiency, right? Effectiveness, I guess.
Effectiveness.
I'm a big proponent for your morning routine. I know you are as well.
Yes.
Obviously, the workout is probably the number one thing that we start our day doing. But for myself, I'm big in meditation, reading, and journaling as well.
So you're telling me, and I've never been into it, right? You sit there and you meditate?
I do.
How does that work? Where do you meditate? Outside?
No. This week, this past week, I guess, was Mental Health Awareness Week or Day. So I reached out to our private clients and kind of introduced them to a technique that I use. But intentional meditation, meaning like breathing techniques. So slowing your heart rate, bringing just consciousness to your thoughts.
You do that first thing in the morning or in the middle of the day?
Or? It depends. Typically, if I'm on, the one thing I've struggled with is my sleep. So as long as I'm sleeping all right, and I can get up and effectively start my day at typically about 5 a.m., then I read, usually about 10 pages. I journal, so I set my intentions for the day, structure my day, so I set income-producing activities. We'll get into some of that stuff, but I align my day based on the things I know I have coming up throughout the day. And then meditation, and before I go to the gym. And my meditation's about 20 minutes long. Starts with really simple technique. Usually 5 to 10 minutes. Getting into a not like transcendental meditation or anything where it's like, reaching for anything spiritual or anything like that, but just slowing things down so that your thoughts throughout the day can come in a way where they're more manageable, a little bit more understanding, and then you can actually be more effective with them.
Cool.
So
interesting.
Like the military and professional athletes and a lot of successful individuals use a technique when it comes to breathing where your exhale is twice as long as your inhale.
Okay.
And that process slows the heart rate a little bit, draws more intentionality, right? It's an intentional meditation. So 5 to 10 minutes of just literally putting yourself in a position where you're relaxed, calm, and then just practicing, literally drawing attention to either your nostrils or the movement in your chest, so you're actually focused on the breathing itself. It helps eliminate a lot of those random thoughts that just run through your head. The analogy that made the most sense that I've heard as far as how it kind of affects your day is the fact that, like, if you were standing at a busy road and you realize that there's traffic going across, but it's so busy that you can't really make out the cars that are going by, after meditation and as you kind of bring this into your life and you continue the process, it's not you can't just rush into it and expect a change day one type of thing. But as you practice this and make it part of a routine, you'll find your thoughts, like the cars, kind of slowing down so that you can actually make out cars, the colors, make, model.
So it's more of a focus thing,
Absolutely.
like you're focusing on the things around it.
And there's a million different techniques. This is just one that I found that works for me. It's something I've shared with our clients.
Okay, cool. So you do that before you even start, before you drink coffee or before you take pre-workout or anything. You just do it first thing in the morning, which would be interesting because that's like when you're the most calm, technically, right?
Sure,
you just woke up, and you're like half dazed.
Yep.
Right, so that's interesting. So Randy likes to meditate. I can't say that I've ever gotten into it. I've heard benefits. I've gotten this far without it, so I don't. Maybe
the funny thing is, like, I was kind of always not resistant around it, but I just didn't understand it.
Yep.
Successful individuals that you wouldn't expect to do those types of things kind of they opened my eyes to it, and it was something I tried, really helped kind of manage the stress and the craziness of our days.
Yep.
And it's something that at this point I choose not to go without.
Interesting. I mean there's great things about a lot of things that I don't do. In fact, I do. It's really weird. I do a lot of the things that people say don't do. Like, for instance, jeez, you cut that out. Some of the things I do, like I wake up, I pop my phone on and I start scrolling while I'm still in bed. That's the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah,
Because then everything's going all over the place. But I always do it. I know the one non-negotiable for me is the workout.
Yeah.
I get up. I get ready for a workout. I'll grab some pre-workout, maybe like a piece of banana or something, kind of give me some carbs to go train. I go train every day, whatever, from for an hour. And during that hour, I'm doing things that you shouldn't be doing when you're. I'm answering emails. I'm taking a call sometimes.
Do the same thing, yeah.
But I just do it, and I still seem to be fine. But the one thing what I found is, like, you kind of go through your day and you're like, when am I most effective, most on? Seems to be 10 a.m. That's just what I've learned. So 10 a.m. is the time I start all my calls. When somebody wants to take a call at 8 o'clock, I usually push them to 10 if I can. But
Sure.
if it just can't happen, then I'll do it at 8 or 9 or whatever. And I notice when I don't do these specific things, I get kind of scrambly for the day.
Yeah,
like
you're
the
out
day
of
gets
alignment.
away, and it's just a weird thing. So very routine driven. Go work out, come back home, eat breakfast, shower, change, grab some emails and a coffee, and I'm off to take calls starting at 10. And then my day is pretty much structured from there. And, I'm home by 5, 6, 7 at night and, eat dinner, do some more work at home and, family time, and then start all over again.
Yep, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Do you when it comes to structuring your day, so like you said, you feel about 10 a.m. is your most effective hour of the day or beginning there. Do you structure and force your day in a calendar. Like let's say because obviously we've got a couple of businesses that you're working now. When it comes to like setting a list, writing a list, or the tasks in front of you, do you do anything like that to make sure you hit certain things throughout your day?
Yeah, and we do this both. When you have a ton of things to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you lay it out in front of you, and you're like, what should I do first? Because you could do all of these things. They all
have to happen, right?
Always number one, things that generate income directly, number one. Number one is the very first thing you do. Anything that's going to generate revenue. And as a gym owner, that might be calling somebody to get their expired credit card that declined over the weekend. And that's calling them first, because when you make the call, you get the new card, revenue's immediate. Now, it's not new revenue. It's the money that you should have had. But if you don't do it, you're not going to get the money.
Money's not. Yeah.
So that's always the first thing. And we were talking to a a coaching client about this. And so we basically did these three things: direct income producing activities, indirect income producing activities, and everything else was bullshit, was last.
Yeah.
So direct would be you make a call, you make a sale. That's direct. You make a call to somebody that has an expired credit card, decline, you get the money. That's a direct. Indirect are things that are going to generate.
Have the potential to generate revenue, right?
Maybe it's connecting and following up on a sales call, or maybe it's pushing out an email that's got a call to action in it. And maybe it's a marketing effort that's going to generate revenue indirectly in the future. And then it's the to-do list of
the social media posts that have to happen, and
all that stuff, and calling whatever. So that's how I think that alone, right? Those if you can just organize your tasks for the day into directly income producing activities, indirect, and then bullshit after that, I think right there, that's going to change a lot of people's lives, just doing it that way.
We include that. I mean, I speak to that in our coaching program specifically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're big on making sure that priorities are set by where you spend your time, not your intention. And if you're, distracted and you're allowing those bullshit activities to kind of take your time, and that's where you're spending your action, putting your action, you're letting that other stuff fall off the plate. And that's the biggest thing, is making sure that the stuff that is going to change, move the needle, is getting done.
Always.
It's not an option at the end of the day where, you can push it off till tomorrow, because guess what? You can do the same thing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So set your list by priority based on those types of things, and you'll find yourself really drastically moving the needle.
Yeah. Because
you're forcing it.
You finish that task, you make money, you're good, right? You have to make money, everybody in this business. If you
business.
This is a business. You got to make money. So for gym owners, it would be those types of things. Having that conversation with a client that needs to upgrade.
Yeah.
Having that conversation with a client that needs to renew. Making a pitch or producing a supplement sale. Getting somebody in the office to sign them up into a nutrition program. Getting somebody, pulling them aside and asking for that referral. Income producing activities versus designing a t-shirt or a flyer or sending an email out that's just informative. That's what we're talking about, because there's a million things that you could do today.
Absolutely.
Take the trash out, vacuum, whatever.
Redesign the color of the walls in the club, or there are things that need to happen, and we understand, this is business. There's a million things on your plate.
Yeah.
But if you can't continue to generate revenue, you're going to struggle.
Yep.
And it's way easier when you're not struggling.
Yeah, and go kind of take inward look and see, what do you do every day? Are there things that drive you as a person that you need to do every day? For us, it's working out. For Randy, it's meditation and reading a book and then working out. For me, it's eating. Okay. It's sometimes you forget to eat.
We do.
It's just part of life sometimes. I got to eat. If I don't eat, I'm not productive. So I need to eat. It's just kind of, makes sense, right? Logic. Income producing activities, me is working out, making big strategic moves in the business. Those are the things that drive me. For you, I'm sure it's working out somewhere.
Should be.
I would tell you that you should work out first thing in the morning. It just makes the most sense, because as your day goes through, something's always going to come up. You're going to miss your workout, and then you're starting not to feel good about yourself, and it's just a kind of a snowball. One thing that I do that, I've heard mixed reviews on this. I don't lift at my own gym. I will on the weekends, but I don't lift on Monday through Friday at the gym. I just don't get a good workout here.
Yeah. Because it's business, again.
And for the longest time, I felt guilty, and I didn't want to give somebody else my $10 a month or whatever it was to go sign up at another gym. But after talking to some mentors and leaders and people that I respect, they all do it. They all go lift somewhere else.
It comes down to the fact that, you are the capstone of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for you to be it's like almost like a trickle-down effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order for you to be the best version of you need to do what's right for you so that can spill over into the business, so that you can pass it on to your employees when you're in the business.
Yep.
Unfortunately, if you come to work, your place of employment or the place that your business, and you try to go and get that workout in, you haven't been able to effectively break away from the work half of it.
Yeah,
and that's part of it.
It's part of it for me, but it's just I won't get a good workout here because I'm talking to everybody, and something happens, I jump and I stop everything, and I usually get a half-ass workout.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's mixed thoughts, like, oh, your clients want to see you working out. You're a product of your product, right? Like being in the gym, working out with the clients and having a good time and getting to know them. They like to see that. Yes, I agree. I haven't done it in 5 years, and I don't think anything's changed for us,
But
right?
all of your trainers are.
They do.
The people that are face to face you're in a position in your gym where you don't have to be the face of the facility.
Right. That makes more sense.
You're intentionally kind of a step removed. That's the intention of the coaching program that we put together. Like, you're a business owner. You're not just self-employed anymore. So, yes and no. I think, you know what I mean? You might be in a little different position than somebody who's client-facing that needs that to continue that relationship. But at the end of the day, it still comes back to like the personality. Like you still know the people walking through the door.
Sure.
You're still present. You still show that you care. So yeah, I can see kind of both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're not doing it for yourself, if you're not getting a workout in, the whole reason that you're at the gym doing it, make the best use of your time wherever it has to happen.
Took a screenshot of something really cool this morning. I don't have my phone with me, but anyways, we'll bring it up on another topic. But it was the 8 things like and I say man, but every person should. You saw
Ryan
this?
Mickler's?
It might have been him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yep. All 8. I was like, yep, makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. Maybe we'll bring that up on another one. But that kind of ties into this. Being physically fit was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Continuously learning was another one. It's like, so we're always learning. I'm reading books. You're reading books.
Oh yeah.
I read the same type of book all the time, and it's business based. It's nonfiction. It's, I don't have any interest in watching a movie that's like fictional or fantasy or anything. That just like
take you away from life.
I don't get that. For me, I love watching like The Social Network.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the movie about Zuckerberg's story,
yeah,
or the founder McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
I mean, those are the movies that are real. They're still movies and dramatic representations of it, but those are the movies that drive me. And even maybe like my favorite movie of all time was from a different era, was The Program.
The Program.
But it was really about a college program life. So it's never like The Hobbit or see, I don't even know the names of the
like a Harry Potter sequel or any of those types of things.
Never into that, or even Star Wars, as classic as that is. I just don't get into them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird. So maybe I'm a little weird on that end, but it just doesn't interest me. So
No, I think it goes back to the fact that like we're focused on moving the needle, on growth, on being intentional with every hour of our day. We don't. Both of us we're wired pretty similar in the fact that like we don't enjoy downtime and frivolous activity. I mean, we're not out socializing in a, hey, what'd you do today type of thing. We'd rather sit down and move and have an intentional conversation around something. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just where we find ourselves.
Exactly. So we are super excited about the Fit Pro Growth Summit.
Mm.
That's going to be the biggest needle mover, I think, for a lot of these gyms, and for us particularly, just getting these folks together, creating a group after this thing's done, and just moving that thing forward.
Yes.
We'll announce more about that later. But so hopefully this episode you focused in on income-producing activities, routine-driven, intentional. Jump into the meditation. Is there any books or anything these guys could take a look at, or videos?
You know what? I'll throw some things in the show notes. I'll come up with some things. Yeah, I wasn't anticipating that coming in, but there's definitely some things that we can I could pass along.
Yeah, throw a couple books in there that people can take a look at if you're interested in the meditation and the focus and that kind of stuff. For me, I would say daily routine is the same every day. Figure out that kind of peak hours of your day and focus around, like, that's when you're going to do your flow work. There's been times where, and another time for me is at night. It's really weird. About 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, I am so focused. It's weird.
Do you find yourself more creative during those hours? Yeah.
Yeah. You start learning these things, right? And like when I wrote that letter that we put into the thing, I wrote it in like 20 minutes. Just it goes, and I read it on the plane coming back because I was like, well, it was coming back trying to refocus on art, and it was good. It was good.
There's so the books and the things that I'm reading.
Yep.
It's business and it's mindset and it's understanding the human mind, how we can be more effective with, the thoughts and understand things like when we're more creative versus when we're more logical, or all of that type of stuff. And your conscious mind versus your subconscious mind, and where in both of those, how they play into effect. And another book that I really like is Stealing Fire. It's about the flow state, which is an actual physical response where your subconscious mind becomes your operating system and your conscious thought decision making steps back, and you actually just operate out of performance because that's the flow that you're in.
I've been in that several times, not knowing how to get into it.
And that's the cool thing.
I've done it, and for instance, that letter, right?
Yeah.
A great story about this exact thing was I remember I was out of a job. I was in between starting the gym and coming out of a job in construction, and in a matter of, and I don't even know if people do business plans anymore. I did. In a matter of probably 4 hours, I sat at Starbucks and wrote my entire business plan that started the entire business, and nothing around me. It was just focused in, and that was the flow. Right?
Was there a weird phenomenon afterwards where you came out of? Remember that scene in is it Old School? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the debate.
Exactly. Yeah, where Will Ferrell, I think it is.
Yeah.
He comes out and he's like, "Whoa, what just happened?" Like,
it wasn't like that.
No, typically, they say that when you come out of like a moment where you're in flow, you come out and it's because you're not conscious of everything that took place. Yeah, what happened? I blacked out. They say that you have almost like you have to kind of piece it together yourself because you're operating from a different place.
Yeah, I could see that. It was just going out, and so. You might have done this as a business owner. You might have been in this flow, like, quote unquote flow state, that this is like a real thing, and you don't even know it. Maybe I'll read that book. I know Brent, one of our last fitness directors, was all about that book. And
it's one of my favorites actually.
Does it teach you how to?
So the two gentlemen that wrote it, they run what's called the Human Genome Project, which is actually they call it a dojo. They've got a physical studio where it's practice of falling into how to learn how to fall into those states of mind. They discuss it in the book. Our Navy SEALs in Langley, Virginia, have a studio where they train to tap into this flow state, and they use some really interesting. I mean, as business owners, right? It's not just this interesting, weird phenomenon. It's about being intentional and being able to utilize this to be more effective in your day-to-day business and life and things like that.
So they tell you it exists. They tell you like what to do to get into it?
A little bit. I think that it kind of alludes into that. It's not like a script. It's not like it's difficult because for everybody it's a little bit different, right? Like they use Shaun White as a professional athlete. Yep. They talk about our Navy SEALs and literally on mission. There's no communication, nonverbal. The Navy SEALs is a really cool thing because something that a lot of people don't know, but they describe like on a mission, rank goes out the window. So the individual who who takes action first becomes the leading member of the team at that moment, and it's fluid. So at any moment on a mission, that rank
could change.
Could simply based upon the person who's
as it should be.
The clearest of mind, the one who takes action first, is now leading the charge. And again, you enter a new room, that guy loses, focus on what to do next. Somebody else steps up, and boom, they follow.
Now they're the leader. Yeah.
So to be able to do that non-verbally, without any form of communication, no hand signals, but to as a group now, effectively tap into that together, super crazy phenomenon. Yeah. But it's cool because at the end of the day, CEOs, boardroom executives, all of these individuals are utilizing the same things to tap into that to be more effective in business.
Yeah, perfect.
So
Guys, go check out that book. We'll post
Yeah.
in the show notes. Until the next time we meet, which will be on the next show.
And if not, the following.
Go the next show. Go ahead and get those tasks kind of out in front of you on a daily basis. Go attack the ones that generate revenue first. Put all the BS behind and push that to the second. Follow a routine. Get in the state of mind. Go check out this book. Until next time, guys, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.